Hello, hello. My thinking leads to eating. You're giving your lower brain the wrong status in your life. So here's how I want you to think about it. I have a client who literally every morning when she wakes up, her lower brain just kind of hits her upside the head with, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Are you being a good mom to so-and-so? Like, it literally just kind of bombards her with all of the should thoughts, and you got to get all these things done. And it can sometimes create a situation where she doesn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. She doesn't want to take action. And I said to her, okay, do you hear this almost every day? She's like, yeah, I do. I said, okay, I want you to think about somebody in your life who you do not really value their input. So it could be a child, it could be like a 5-year-old. Like, you're not going to go to a 5-year-old and say, tell me what I need to be doing with my life, right? Hopefully not. But it could be a coworker. It could be a distant cousin. It could be somebody who, when you look at their life and kind of how they conduct themselves, if they were to walk into your bedroom and tell you what you should be doing, how you need to be doing this, that, and the other, they were to kind of start micromanaging your life, you would be like, I'm not listening to this. This is not a reputable source of information that I should be taking seriously. And then I told her, I want you now to picture somebody who gives you good sage advice. So somebody that you know that if you're struggling with a legit problem, that you would want to open up to, you would want to share your ideas. They would give you some solid advice, some good, well thought out stuff. And I said, what you've been doing is giving your lower brain the sage advice respect. You've been listening to it like it's actually meaningful. But really what it is by your bed, you've got a record player. And every morning the little lever comes down. Have you ever seen Groundhog Day? If you haven't, it's a good movie, watch it. But on Groundhog Day, he always wakes up to the same song, always. And what you want to keep in mind is your lower brain will repeat the exact same set of dialogues. You could probably almost tell me right now verbatim what it says when it comes to your eating, when it comes to impulsive eating, when it comes to all the things you should be doing, all the things you're not doing well, all the things that you need to do. You probably could tell me all of it because you've heard it so many times. Well, it's like that little lever comes down on the record and it starts to play. And it's a recording of the person who you don't really want any good advice from because you don't appreciate that, you don't think that they have anything worthwhile to contribute, whether it's because of their age, life experience, or just the fact that you look at their situation and you think they don't really have a place to give me advice, right? Like, so you're taking that in every day. It's like the record starts to play and you go, really? Is this true? Oh my gosh, yes, I should be doing all these things. And it's the person you don't respect being played on a record over and over and over again every single day. And it doesn't have to be in the morning for you. It could be in the afternoon. It could be you've done so much hard work today. You should eat that. Again, it's the lower brain. It's the person you don't respect. It's the record player getting tripped once again. And you stop and you go, really? Yes, this is exactly what I should do. And if it was a 5-year-old, if there's nobody in your life that you feel that way about, if it's a 5-year-old and the 5-year-old comes in and goes, sell all your stocks, I think that's what you should do, or you should be doing this, or you should be doing that, you would be like, hey, sweetheart, thanks for the input. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, right? You would dismiss it. That's where you want to get with the lower brain. It's the record. It's the person whose opinion you don't value. It is not the sage advice that you would get from your great-grandmother or your cousin or your aunt or whoever's opinion you value, okay? You've got to see it through a different lens, because up until now, as you're going through this How My Thinking Leads to Eating series, the reason you've struggled with your weight, with your eating, with your actions, is because that record player arm goes down. The record plays of the person who you really shouldn't trust their advice. You shouldn't take it under advisement because you see the issues they're contending with, or the fact that they just don't have any life experience to contribute. And you're taking it under advisement as if it's that sage advice person, okay? And you need to see the role differently. That is a record that plays over and over and over again. And you, again, could probably write it out in a notebook, what you're going to hear, right? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this, that, or the other happened. This is a really busy, stressful day. You deserve another treat. You'll hear it. It becomes very repetitive. Start to see it as the person who you don't have a lot of confidence in. Start to see it as that record that just gets bumped and played over and over again. And like in Groundhog Day, other than the fact he's sheerly annoyed because the day completely repeats over and over again, it becomes less impactful, right? Like, yes, the song plays, but you stop listening to it because you know it's gonna play. It's a given. The sage advice person is somebody who would say things that sounded different. For example, and I'm not saying I'm a sage person, but when you listen to the podcast and I coach somebody, right? I try to open their experience to things they don't normally see, or expose them to concepts or ways of doing things that they haven't themselves seen. It's because they're in a constant loop with their lower brain. They have not taken in new ideas to change how they're doing things. As a coach, that's my job, right? It's to introduce new ideas, present new ways of seeing and thinking about things. That's my job as a coach. But left to their own devices, they're in that constant loop with their lower brain chatter, okay? And that lower brain chatter, as we've already discussed, it could be a 5-year-old, right? It's not offering you anything that's actually helpful, impactful, or good for you. Quite honestly, how do you know? Proof is in the pudding. Are you where you want to be? If you were where you wanted to be and it actually was helpful, then I'd say go for it. Listen to the record every single day, right? But it isn't helping you because it's a negative thing that's on repeat. Now, it doesn't mean to be negative. That's the important part to remember. Lower brains are there trying to help you survive the day, get through with a little discomfort as possible. They're trying to prevent future failure. So there's good inherent in it, but that's not how it shows up for our long-term self. In the moment, it's coming from a genuinely caring and protective place. Long-term, it's very destructive. Somebody who uses alcohol to cope with what they're feeling in discomfort because of their lower brain, obviously having an alcohol issue is not long-term helpful, right? Same thing with drug use, same thing with gambling or more behaviors that bring on adrenaline, right? There's certain things that are just not helpful for us in the long term. So we kind of have to see this different. So as your lower brain shows up, I really want you to start to identify it with somebody who you would never take their advice. That's so-and-so. Or if you don't have somebody like that, think of a cute 5-year-old kid. Imagine a kindergartner. Are you going to let them run your life? I personally would not. And then the next thing you want to remember is all that is it's a record that the arm comes down every day and it repeats the same messages over and over again. And you say, oh, but Heather, how do I know if it's not helpful? Are you where you want to be? If the answer is no, then it is not helpful and you've got all the proof you need. So start to see it that way, start to dismiss it and say, oh, silly little Sarah or Susie or whoever you choose to name it, Lolita. Oh, you cute little thing. No, we're not going to listen to that today. Right? Dismiss it. Anyway, I hope this message helps. I hope you're starting to see your lower brain through a different lens. Please like and subscribe and share my videos, and I will talk to you soon.